I had asked you this actually earlier because I really want to understand, and I don't understand, the conception of God that you have, or gods that you have. And we had talked about it before, and I wonder if there's some way that you can explain to us how you think or how you understand God, gods, the divine. Do you have a conception of that? And if so, what is it?
So when we say conception, we are referring to concepts. When we say concepts, obviously they're constructed in our minds, whatever our concepts are. Probably you're referring to the 33 million gods and goddesses of India. These 33 million happened when our population was 33 million. Since then, because of Western influence and Western education, we've become little shy of creating gods. We must understand this, in India, in the northern part of India, these terminologies have been lost because of invasions and the kind of beating that northern India has taken over a period of time. But in southern India, still, a deity or see, the word God doesn't belong to India, we don't have such a word actually. There's no the God word anywhere. We call them Bhagwan. Bhagwan means a blessed being. That's the highest word we kind of have, there is no the God word anywhere. So, these deities are referred to as yantras. The word yantra literally translates into a machine or an instrument. So these are instruments to access different dimensions of life. See, we as human beings, we are who we are today in this world. One thing that's really worked for us is the tools that we created, isn't it? For example, maybe many of you've seen, I think there was an image of that in the video. There is Dhyana Linga, which is called a temple. It's called a yogic temple or a multi-religious temple. When I'm speaking, if I refer to the Dhyana Linga as a tool, some devotees get very hurt. Sadhguru, don't call it a tool, it's more than our life. I say, that's fine. If you think I'm offending you by calling Dhyana Linga a tool, you do one thing, you come to the yoga center, I'll give you plumbing job, 3 days. You do it, I won't give you any tools. Just with your bare hands, you can use your teeth. In 3 days' time, all your nails will be gone, some of your teeth will be gone. Then if I give you a spanner, will you worship it or no? Hello? It's the tools. It is the tools. Right now, I'm speaking here, it is the instrument called microphone which is really speaking to you. Otherwise, if I spoke here, these 10 people would hear, the people behind would poke them and what did he say, what did he say? They would say whatever the hell they wanted to the person behind. This is how it happened in ancient times. Because only these 10-15 people heard. See, today microphone. Why? Because we can speak. To enhance speech, we got microphone. That is not good enough, we made a telephone. We have vision, so we made a microscope, we made a telescope. Because we can walk, we made a bicycle, we made a car, we made an airplane, we made all kinds of things. If you were made like a tree, rooted to one place, would you have thought of a bicycle, I'm asking? No, because every instrument or every machine that we have created is only an extension of our existing faculties. We have not created anything absolutely new. Everything is just an extension of our existing faculties. So the deities are like this, they're made for different purposes. For every kind of purpose in life, there is one deity. So if you want money, there's one deity. If you want power, there's another deity. You want knowledge, there's another deity. You want love, there's another deity. You want to be fearless, there's another deity. Like this for everything. Just to, cap that, you've heard of Ramanujam, have you? No, the mathematician? There was a movie about him.
Yeah.
I saw that movie here in Los Angeles, I think. You know Ramanujam? So Ramanujam is late 19th century and early 20th century, 1911 or 1912, he died, I think.
Very
He was
young.
born… Huh?
Very young.
Yes. He was born in Tamil Nadu, where we are, in the southern state. He started pouring out mathematics. He's a devotee of a particular female deity. And he started pouring out books and books of mathematics, no training of any kind. So some English professor identified this and sent him to England, Oxford, right?
I think so.
So he just poured out mathematics. To what extent means, in 1910, he wrote mathematics or the mathematical structures for black holes, describing black holes, when there was no concept of black hole in the scientific community. See, in science, first the concept, then the theory, then the math. But he wrote the math when there was no theory, when there was no concept, he just wrote the math. He was dying of tuberculosis. He sat on his deathbed and simply poured out bookfuls of mathematics. People asked, where is this coming from? He said, my Devi, my goddess, bleeds mathematics. These are his words. Because he is using that deity to open up a window to the existence. I am a living example of that. Just opening up a window and suddenly everybody thinks you know everything, you don't know a damn thing. You just opened a window and you looked out and you're just talking whatever you see there. So these deities came up like this to serve different purposes of human life. Different energy forms were created. There is a whole science of consecration. It's a very powerful science. You must come and experience. There is one here at the Tennessee Center. If you come to India, it will just blast you in the face, you don't have to believe anything. It is not by belief. Just the very energy there is like that because these are consecrated spaces created for specific purposes. To teach yoga, we consecrate one way, to make other experiences happen. This dhyana linga means it's a meditative form. Without any instruction, people will become meditative. No instruction, no previous experience. They come and sit down thinking they will sit for 5 minutes, they will simply sit for an hour, 2 hours. Recently somebody came, just before I came here, in the month of March. One man came from Himalayas, he just sat down in the temple in the morning, when 6 o'clock when the temple opens, evening 8 o'clock, he was still sitting there. He just didn't move. So people got scared, he may leave his body. They came to me, Sadhguru, this man has not opened his eyes since morning, he just sat there over 12 hours, he has not moved an inch, he's simply sitting there. Then I knew who it is, I said, don't bother, just go and whisper to him, Sadhguru will see you tomorrow morning, he'll wake up. So because the energy itself is meditative, you don't have to know anything, it makes you like that. So this is a science that was explored profoundly and we created forms. You won't believe, there are tribes of thieves. You know, you've heard of the Pindaris and others in India, who are bandit tribes. They have their own gods and goddesses. Before they go on their thievery, they have their gods who will assist them in that. They created that kind of energy for themselves. This is like creating any other instrument. You have a science and technology, you can make wonderful life-saving instruments out of it, or you can make a gun out of it, you can make anything out of it, you could have made anything out of it. So people made various deities for different purposes in their life. But this thing about this is the god never existed in the country or in that culture. This is why this is one culture which constantly taught people that your life is your karma. You've heard of that word, that's become an English word now. Karma means your action. Physical action, mental action, emotional action and energy action. These 4 dimensions of activity you're constantly performing. Over 99% of it is unconscious. See, from the moment you got up today morning till this moment, these 4 dimensions of activity, your physical activity, your mental activity, your emotional and energy activity, how much percentage of it are you performing consciously? Believe me, it's way below 1%. When 99% is unconscious, life will be accidental. When life is accidental, anxiety is natural. When anxiety becomes your way of existence, Now fear is the key, you'll just about believe anything. You're ready to believe anything. You're just trying to hold on to something that gives you some comfort, some solace, something to make you feel like you're standing safe. So, if you don't have something, it's okay. But if you have it and you don't access it, this is a crime, isn't it? So my entire life's work is just this, so that you find access to the source of creation that also throbs within you. You're right now a piece of creation, that's fine, but you are also the source of creation within yourself. If you find access to that intelligence, you live in a magical way. Other people will think you're superhuman, but this is not about being superhuman. This is about realizing being human itself is super.
So I've been watching your videos for quite some time, and you've made an interesting comment that when you think of God, most people think of him as an old man sitting up there with a big beard, passing
You talking about me? The old beard sitting up here. Tell me further.
And so my question was, I was curious to understand what in your definition would be God.
See, the reason why in every culture people have come up with their own concept of God. Every culture has a different concept of God, but everybody has come up with some concept of God. Because they have no explanation for creation, isn't it? Hello? You came out of your mother's womb and looked around, too much creation. You know you didn't do it. Then you looked up your mother, maybe she did it. Well, she delivered you, but she did not deliver the planet, you know that. Then you looked at your father, no, not him. You looked at every other adult around you, nobody looked like competent enough to make all this happen, isn't it? Yes or no? There's not one person here who looks like he's competent to create this whole creation around us. So the simplistic conclusion is, there is a big man sitting up there. Oof, I fit the description, at least the Western description I fit, in the India I don't fit. But now there is an argument. A big argument in the United States churches, is God a man or a woman? The last election they tried to settle that issue. Didn't work that way. So, your ideas of God are essentially cultural in nature. You know Adi Amin? You heard of Adi Amin? You know, Uganda man? Not Tanzania, but in Africa. Adi Amin declared God is black. I agree with him. I agree with him. Because if a white man can have a white God, why can't a black man have a black God? So this argument also is going on, particularly in the US churches. They tried to settle that in the previous election. But in India, we know God is brown. Especially Indians who live outside of India are very proud of this, because, we know what God looks like, because He Himself visited India 9 times. You don't know this? Hello? 9 times He Himself visited, To other places he sent his son, his messenger. Indians Indians are very proud of this. To other places only messengers and sons went, to India he himself came. I keep reminding them, that is because God wouldn't trust anybody else with Indians. He wanted to do the job hands-on with Indians. So he himself came not once, 9 times. And he failed. 9 or 10 times we can debate, but failure you cannot debate, isn't it? Obviously he failed, what do you think?
It's
With
a
the Indians.
perspective that we can take. He maybe didn't do the best job, yeah, but… but he was good. He created you, me, so many of us.
Yes, but coming hands-on, it's a failure, isn't it? He could have sent somebody like everywhere else. So, our ideas of God are coming because we have no explanation for creation. What you're referring to as God is essentially that which is the source of creation, isn't it? Because you're human, you're imagining it has to be a big human being. Suppose you were a buffalo. You would definitely think it's a big buffalo. You heard of the big yak in Tibet? You've not seen? I went hunting for a big yak. I drove all over Tibet, took permissions and drove off-road everywhere to see the big yak, because they told me the big yak from horn to horn is 6 feet wide. I wanted to see this animal. Oh my God, how would it be? Then after driving everywhere, I realized it's little got big in their heads. It's little bigger than the domesticated yak, but it got so big, they said it's 6 feet wide, the horns. And I said, I must see this. But there was no such animal anywhere in Tibet. So, if you are a buffalo, you would definitely think God is a big buffalo, isn't it? So our ideas of God are childish, but it is a fact that you and me did not make this creation happen. That's a fact, isn't it? But you don't know how it happened. With all the exploration of science, we still do not know how it exactly happened. Nobody knows, isn't it? You pay attention to a flower, to a leaf, to an ant, to an insect. If you pay enough attention, each one of them smacks of tremendous sense of intelligence, isn't it so? Hello? If you put filth to the root, it becomes a flower. Fantastic or no? Look at you. Look at you. Just the soil that you walk upon, look at you how you're sitting, became such a sophisticated machine, isn't it? So whatever is the source of creation, well, sappy people are saying God is love, desperate people are saying God is compassion, other people are saying now it's a in thing in North America, so God is empathy. They've not been hit by life yet. But if you pay enough attention to creation, because it is the presence of creation which has given you the idea of God in your head, isn't it? If there was no creation, you wouldn't think there is a God. If you pay enough attention to every piece of creation, what you will see is it's intelligence, 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 intelligence beyond what you can contain in your brains. Yes or no? But nobody said God is intelligence, unfortunately. If we had said that, definitely we would be populated with more intelligent human beings rather than the sappy ones. You know, our center is in Tennessee. We have a large center there. When I was new there, I walk into this town, which is a one-horse town, literally a small town. And I'm walking on the street and greeting people, smiling at them, thinking they'll be happy to see a new face. But it's a different kind of setup. I'm just at the right complexion. A shade darker than this cannot be there in that town. I'm just on the edge. So one big man, this wide, over 6 feet tall, comes and stands close to me. He looks down at me and says, "God loves us." Then I say, "The way you are, only God can love you." Before this went inside and worked, I had to go away. Because everybody is concocting their own ideas. Leave your ideas, pay attention to the creation. Tell me, if this flower has to blossom, nobody sprayed perfume to the roots, they put filth. Hello? They put manure. That manure became fragrance. This means, is there a tremendous amount of intelligence functioning in this rose plant? Hello? You ate a piece of bread and this became a human being. Is there a tremendous amount of intelligence beyond your brains functioning within you? So, this is the source of creation right now for you. If you access even one drop of that intelligence, you will live magically instead of becoming hallucinatory. If you believe things that you don't see, you will become hallucinatory. But if you access things which are not in your access right now, your life will get tremendously enhanced. That's what you should look at. Right now, there is an intelligence here which can turn a piece of bread into a human being. If I took a loaf of bread in my hands and made it into a human being, who would you think I am? You would think I am the source of creation, isn't it? Every one of you is doing this in your stomach, of course, not in your hands. But no access. So, if you don't have something, it's okay. But if you have it and you don't access it, this is a crime, isn't it? So my entire life's work is just this, so that you find access to the source of creation that also throbs within you. You're right now a piece of creation, that's fine, but you are also the source of creation within yourself. If you find access to that intelligence, you live in a magical way. Other people will think you're superhuman, but this is not about being superhuman. This is about realizing being human itself is super.
It's very nice to meet you, Sadhguru. I wanted to know about Adi Yogi because I've learned and I studied some yoga for years and I never heard about Adi Yogi except from you.
Oh, you thought Madonna invented yoga, is it? The word Adi Yogi means the first yogi. We don't know the exact time, but it's somewhere over 15,000 years ago. That much we know because of certain relics we have found and certain things that have been said, certain astronomical phases that they've talked about. Based on this, we estimate it's over 15,000 years ago, we don't know the exact time. So the significance of Adi Yogi is this: for the first time, for the human beings, he said, if you are willing to strive, you can cross all the limitations that nature has set up for you. Only thing is if you're willing to strive. And above all, the most important thing of this is, he's the first one. I don't want to take the credit away from the English people. Charles Darwin spoke about evolution about 150 years ago. You had a 200th birth anniversary recently. So, Adi Yogi spoke of evolutionary process. over 15,000 years ago. He spoke in a different language. When they asked how life happened, what is its beginning, what is its end, when his disciples asked him, he said, the first form of life was fish. Second form of life, he said, is a turtle, of amphibious life. That means life is moving out of water, finding its way on the land. Indian people know about the 9 avatars. The next one is an animal, usually it's called a wild boar because wild boar is supposed to be the most physical creature among the mammals. So he says, it's a wild boar. Next one is half man, half animal. Next one is a dwarfed man. Next one is a full-fledged man but emotionally volatile man. Next one is a peaceful man. Next one is a loving man. Next one is a meditative man. The next one, which is yet to come, is supposed to be a mystical man. That could be you. Because if you pull out a small thing in your hand and start speaking to somebody in India or America, you're quite mystical. If only… Yes. I'm saying, if only you had a phone 100 years ago, you could claim you're God and people would have believed it. Yes or no? So, he's not talking about individual people, he's talking about different stages of evolution. If you look at what Adi Yogi spoke, in many ways it runs absolutely parallel to what Charles Darwin spoke 150 years ago. So he spoke about evolution and he said, till now evolution happened without your consent. Now you have the privilege to decide how far you want to evolve. He said, this is the most significant aspect of being human is this, that you decide your evolution. When you were a monkey, it's not my statement, it's Charles Darwin, okay? When you were a monkey, you did not decide, I want to become a human being. Nature just pushed you on for whatever reasons. But now that you're a human being, now you can decide what kind of a human being you want to be. This moment you can be like a brute, next moment you can be godlike. Both are possible for you right here. So he said the most significant dimension of being human is you determine your evolution. This is the only creature on the planet who has that freedom to do that. He said this is the most important thing and he gave 112 methods through which a human being can evolve to their ultimate nature. So that's why Adi Yogi.
My name is Sinchana from the Department of Management Studies. So, my question is, how do I see or understand Adi Yogi as a Swayambhu, which is self-born, and Aja as unborn, since both are contradictory. Also, he's referred as limitless and nothingness. So can you please state your opinion?
Say, today you're in… Please sit down. You're in management studies. If you complete these studies and go to work somewhere, people say you're a manager. Over a period of time, those people who work around you, they keep referring to you as a manager, and in their experience, you are a manager, isn't it? Whatever you may think within yourself, maybe you will also start believing you're a manager. But others definitely see you as a manager, similarly with various things. So Adi Yogi literally means the first yogi. A yogi means who consciously obliterated all boundaries around him. See, because you have a set boundary, this is me, that is you. Suppose the boundaries actually exist only for the physical body, isn't it? This is my body, that's your body. This is my mind, that's your mind. But I want you to understand, there is no such thing as this is my life and that is your life. This is a living cosmos. You captured a little bit of it, I captured a little bit of it, somebody else captured a little more. That's about it. Now, if you're identified with your body, you're somebody. Yes? If you're identified with your mind also, you call yourself, I'm this or that. But if your identity is not with your physicality or with your psychological structure, you're really a nobody, isn't it? If you're a nobody, are you limited or unlimited? So when we say yogi, we are in many ways saying he is a nobody because he is not identified with his body. Well, he has a body, but he is not identified with it. See, what you call as my body right now, just some time ago was probably a papaya or a carrot or a fruit or a vegetable or something, isn't it so? Hello? You don't like that. What do you like? It was some food, something to be eaten, isn't it so? You ate that and now it's sitting here as my body or your body. Before that, it was just soil that you walk upon. And after some time, again it'll become soil. Most people don't get this point unless you bury them, that you're just a little bit of this planet, aren't you? Huh? Aren't you? Just a piece, little bit of soil. When we bury you, you understand, but it's a bit late. But if you realize right now, whatever I call as myself is all accumulation from outside. That was not me, okay? Somebody unplugging something. So, if your identity is not with things that you have gathered, what would you identify with? If you identify with the fundamental life process, it's not here, it's just happening all over the place. So in that sense, we are saying he is limitless, because he is not sitting there as a body, nor is he sitting there as a psychological structure. Both these things are outside influences on you. About him being a Swayambhu, it means that he is self-made, everything that he is. See, today you're sitting here, you may not be conscious, but your father, mother, your grandparents and their grandparents and their grandparents, if you go 100,000 generations, all of them are in some way living through you, isn't it? Yes? You may not consciously remember, but your great-great-great-grandmother's nose is sitting on your face without you being conscious about it. Yes or no? So, this is an accumulation of memory, first of all. There is evolutionary memory, there is genetic memory and karmic memory and various other forms of memory. In yoga, we identify memory as 8 different fundamental forms in which this body is formed. Because these 8 different memories are there, memory means it's a software that's been given to you. This is why it grows like this. Suppose whatever food you eat, I know you eat the same kind of food, but suppose you eat certain kind of food, the same food, if I give it to my dog, will it become you? Or if I give my dog's food, will you become a dog? Nothing like that will happen. This body will never get confused, isn't it? Because the software is well entrenched. Put whatever you want, this will do the same thing because the memory is well established. So what you call as myself right now is not you. It is a consequence of a huge amalgamation of memory. A little bit you have added your character to it, but rest of it is all come to you from somewhere else. So when we say a Swayambhu, because he is no way using his ancestry, no way using the faculties or the memories of the body, he has placed himself above that. He is completely himself, not a consequence of history, not a consequence of genetics, but he's all by himself. So we call him, he's totally self-made or he's a Swayambhu.
So, what is your opinion about God? We have a different… doctors are confused about what is God.
See, it's very difficult for people to understand this. But people who are with me for 25, 30 years around me closely, even today, I don't have an opinion on them. They are around me all the time, I've seen them in and out, but I don't have an opinion on them. It's very difficult for people to understand this. Every day when I look at them fresh. Only when it comes to work, maybe you will evaluate their competence and decide what to do from what they did yesterday. Otherwise, as human beings, I never judge them for what they were yesterday. Because my entire work is this, that whatever the hell you have been yesterday, whoever you are, whatever kind of parentage you have, whatever kind of history you have, it doesn't matter. If you are willing, tomorrow something fantastic is possible within this life. It is for that possibility that we work. I don't care who your father is, I don't care who your grandfather is. My concern is not even what you're today, my concern is always looking at what you could be tomorrow. If you're not looking out for that possibility, there's no spiritual process. When I don't even have an opinion on anybody around me, why would I have opinion on the Creator? So, because we are human beings, our understanding of life is, when we say life, we think it should be in this form. If all these 212 bones are there, you will certify this is not life. The 212, am I correct?
242.
They've gone up. 242, is it? That's a very important number. Anyway, if any one of them are missing, you will say, I'm not a complete human being in some way. So, the nature of life and our existence is such. What we think is… because our thought process and our intelligence has given us this wrong feeling that we are the center of the universe. No, the existence is not human-centric. We're just one tiny little creature. Significant though. Significant we are. Because of our ability to be conscious, because of our intelligence, we have become significant, but only in our experience. Only in our experience. In the cosmic nature of things, tomorrow morning this planet may just fly away somewhere and vanish. Huh? Possible or no? Many of the asteroids passing by the Earth are bigger than the planet Earth. That's what we are… these days everybody is fearing, because all these years we did not know what the hell is happening. Now that they have seen some huge asteroids, there's a paranoia. If one of them come and hit us, what will happen? Oh, we will go into pieces, of course. So, who we are is not significant in creation, but significant for us, simply because our experience is rooted in us. Because I hear that you are among the foremost… there are many people here who are foremost spinal surgeons. We refer to the human spine as Merudanda. That means the axis of the universe. I know many people just carrying this little body, already the spine is hurting. Axis of the universe. Terrible. Definitely they need a titanium replacement. Why we're calling this the axis of the universe is, human experience is transmitted largely through the spine. Because it's transmitted through the spine, and our experience is the basis of the universe for us. How do we know there is a world around us? Only because we see, hear, smell, taste and touch. All that is being transmitted through our spine. So, universe exists not because it is there. It exists for us only the way we perceive it. Maybe an earthworm doesn't know there is a moon. Hello? Most probably he doesn't know. He definitely knows there is a sun, I know. But he may not know there is a moon because it may not have any relevance for him. A bird may not know there is a cosmos and he doesn't care probably. But we know all this simply because of our enhanced perception. And this perception is being transmitted. In the process of evolution, One of the most significant steps is… I'm sorry, I'm talking to doctors, but… Should I? One of the most significant steps in the process of evolution is the making of the spine or the vertebrae as it is.
Definitely.
Why such a thing happened is, when our neurological system started evolving, somewhere the intelligence of life realized it needs protection. When we say our visual apparatus, this is a very complex eye. It is able to distinguish minutest differences in many things which most other creatures on the planet cannot do. The first… even now this sea life exists, there are certain fish in whom there are photosensitive cells. They can just sense there is light, they cannot see anything. That's the first eye. It's being taken as the first evolutionary eye, must be this fish, because it can see light and darkness, that's all. From there, these sensory organs, these neurological developments have been phenomenal. And the richness of our experience is mainly because of the sensitivity of our neurological system. This needed protection, it needed a conduit. So the spine came up. Another significant aspect of ecological process is, from a horizontal spine, it became a vertical spine. So in yoga, there's a whole system of yoga just training you how you can keep your spine erect, to be aligned always. You're standing, sitting, running, doing whatever you want, but you are conscious where your spine is all the time, because this determines how sensitive you are to life. Because your whole experience of life is being transmitted. And our experience of the universe is just the way we experience it, we don't know any other way. Because of that, this is the center of the universe. In the sense, it's like this. See, now this hall, we can see the walls. Now we can say which is the center of this hall, either that one or this one, we can debate a little bit. But when you cannot see the boundaries of this hall, this is universe, you cannot see the boundaries, I can fix the center wherever I want. Wherever there is intensity of experience, that's my center. So, human spine is seen as the center of the universe and also the axis of the universe, depending upon how sensitive you make it. Accordingly, the enlargement of your experience, the enhancement of your experience of life happens, your perception is enhanced beyond your sense perception. Even to go beyond senses, still the neurological basis is very, very significant. This is the reason why we are saying only a human being can realize. The other creatures are not equipped to realize because their neurological system is not sophisticated enough for that.
Sadhguru, in the video we saw the Dhyana Linga, and it is always said that you have consecrated a lot of energy into Dhyana Linga. But we would like to know what is this energy, because if you take the 3,000 people here, we know that there are some people with high energy and some people with low energy. So is it that they are born like that or they are manufactured like that?
It depends what was their breakfast. Pongal and no coffee. After Pongal you need degree coffee.
Degree coffee. So what do you mean by this energy, which you can take it and keep it in a different place, and how do you get energized? People also say, I heard you say that you sleep only for 2.5 hours. So can you tell us the secret?
That was at one time. The first 25 years of my activity, on an average I slept 2.5 to 3 hours a day. These days, becoming a bit lazy. Anywhere between 3.5 to 4.5 hours I'm sleeping. More by… not because of my age, for sure, because nothing has changed that way within me. Just that one thing is, these days nutrition is bad because I'm traveling so much and I'm particular that the food is in a certain level of freshness. Once you leave India, most of the food that appears on your plate is minimum 3 months old. It's very difficult to get something which is fresh. So that makes me go skip meals all the time. I think due to lack of daily nourishment. I get nourishment, once in 2 days, 3 days I get good nourishment. But there is no daily nourishment simply because of excessive travel. I think because of that there is a bit of slackness. I think if I eat well for 2-3 months, I'll be back to 3 hours easily. What Dhyanalinga means is, because time is running out for me, like everybody else, I'm not saying I'm going tomorrow. Everybody should know, time is running out. Hello? Yes. As we sit here, it's running out for all of us. Because time is running out, people on the spiritual path will always wonder, after Sadhguru what? What do we do? So, this was the vision of another great yogi way back, that to establish a form which is like a living yogi, but he won't travel, he's always there. A yogi without legs, good or no? That he can't go anywhere, but a full-fledged being with all the 7 chakras and everything, full-fledged. Only thing is he doesn't ask for food, good. He doesn't sleep, good. And he doesn't die, very good. And he doesn't go anywhere, very, very good. So that's the kind of yogi we created, who's sitting there right now. He can't walk, he can't talk, he won't eat, he won't die. Good or no? Insurance for future.
For the sake of inspiration, I am sharing few participants' Samyama experience and how life changes after doing Samyama. He says, this is all that I got after attending Samyama. Number 1, time consciousness. I was able to know how time passes for every activity and how much time needed for every task. So I am never late to anything. Once I started becoming aware of time, it gives a freedom to even plan a whole week and live as per our wish. Number 2, death consciousness. Even when a leaf falls off from tree, being aware that slowly it is dying, like this, always being aware of death is happening in every moment, slowly to everything, it keeps me focused on doing what's needed. Memory consciousness. Too much memory, at least for last few months. I am aware clearly what has happened on which day, special last 3 years of memory is almost there. This is give a freedom to look back the mistake done in the past and to do not repeat them in the future. Number 4, cycle consciousness. Finally, once and above 3 come, I started seeing the same things are repeating in different colors in life. It makes me to see how cyclical things are. In addition, one last thing which I got from the program, which is so precious, is secret, which I can't say in public, sorry for that. How I prepared for Samyama 2016. I was so attracted to Sadhguru videos around 2015. I started watching videos after videos in YouTube. I would have watched more than 1,000 videos in every month, and finally I understood that Sadhguru is also talking about life, soul, and he says that there are methods and tools to know things beyond physicality. On one video he was talking about Samyama. On that day I decided to do the program. I come to know that I should learn Hatha Yoga BSP Shunnya to go through pre-Samyama meet after attending Samyama. It was May 2015. I started learning all of them. I still remember day in Bangalore where I used to travel 3 hours in bus without taking food as my office work kept me busy and I delay little. I can't go on time for classes. Hunger was my constant companion on those days. At the end of June 2015, I have finished all course and started my preparation. I did my sadhana daily with devotion. By December end, I was simply shining, physically balanced, mentally stable and emotionally lovable. What a state it was. 6 months of practice had made a huge difference in the way I am. I started loving my sadhana so deeply. I have attended pre-Samyama meet and showed my genuine interest in attending the program, and I got selected for Samyama 2016. I was super happy and wanted to prepare well, as there are certain food habits to be followed before attending the program. I struggled initially as I was living in a hostel in Bangalore where I can't choose my food. However, I made sure that I adhere to rule. As I was taking fruit meal in evening, I used to be super active until I go to bed. Every day waking up at 3:30 am, doing my sadhana for 3 hours, taking a heavy brunch, doing 10 hours of office work and fruit meal in evening. This is how my preparation days went during 2016 early days. It was intense days of my whole life. I have attended Samyama from 25th of February to March 2016. These 7 days are the most precious days of my life. I don't know how to express about what I have got in program. In simple words, the best program possibility for seeker of truth on the planet Earth. While I was coming back, I realized that without all the preparation, I would not have gone through the program easily. I am so thankful to Sadguru, my sadhana teachers and all volunteers for making it happen for me. All the best for all Samyama participant 2026 and to Samyama aspirant in future. If you are looking something beyond text in spirituality, Samyama is a must for you. In addition to Samyama, with Sadguru is the greatest fortune one can have in this life. Why I have attended Samyama 2016. This is the post I always wanted to write to tell my friend how much important the Samyama program and how it has changed me in every aspect of my life. I started my first job after graduation at April 2014. It was around 2015 January. I have seen 1 lakh rupees in my bank balance and I started looking what is more in life than money. So I don't want too much plan with money. As my childhood onwards, it was super interested towards spirituality. I thought, why not to do some research about it? I started reading many spiritual books and spent time visiting temples, interviewing priests of various religions, to know what is the essence of spirituality. Even though they speak many things, different things commonly, they were all talking about life or soul. I got curious by the fact and wanted to know what is soul. Is there anything beyond body exist? If so, why am I not able to experience it? That's when Sadhguru's videos had started attracting me. If you have question about the program, feel free to text me. I am sorry for a lengthy story. Sadhguru's talk on surrender. Sadhguru says, I do not usually talk about this, but there has been a lot of talk about surrender everywhere. The moment thinking, logical, educated mind hear the word surrender, they will build forts around themselves. They are free-thinking people who are trapped in the mess of their own mind. Surrender is for slaves and defeated one. When we use the word surrender, it means you surrender that which is false. Everything that you have been is just a falsehood. Identifications you have taken on in your life, what have you got to really surrender? You have nothing. When you realize this, you have surrendered. When you surrender the wall that you built, everything becomes one. Only when you merge with existence, you are free. As long as you and existence are separated, there is no such thing as freedom. True freedom can happen only when you are not. As long as you are there, where is freedom? You may enlarge your prison wall, but bondage is still there. As long as you exist, there is bondage. When you surrender this illusory wall of separation that you have built between you and existence, everything is one. This wall does not exist. You believe it exists. All that you surrender is your illusion, not reality. When you surrender your illusion, you begin to experience reality. Reality is not something that you can create. Reality is that which contains you. Reality already is, but it comes into your experience. Reality will simply be. Right now in your experience, you have become a whole world of yourself. With all the multiple impressions that you have built a world of your own. The world is not reality. Every moment, even to exist here physically, you have to communicate with the rest of the existence. Just your breath is a form of communication on the physical level. If you break the communication even for one moment, you cannot exist. But you believe you have nothing to do with anything. Satsang means to drop that which you are identified with, the falsehood that you have created. You put down the wall that you have built between you and the reality. It is not that it has to happen in particular room or hall. For those who are willing, it is always available. In a room or hall, we are trying to create an atmosphere that makes it easier for you. Without a certain presence that seems to be larger than yourself, dropping your identifications become difficult because it is like jumping into the void. If you feel something that is bigger than yourself, it becomes a little easier to keep what you think of as yourself aside. You have to come to satsang with a different attitude than the way you have association or clubs. Those places are to manifest your exclusiveness. A satsang is to drop your exclusiveness. Right from a textile advertisement to a cigarette, modern culture is trying to make you exclusive. Your effort is to be special. People who love you are supposed to tell you all the time that you are very special. I am here to tell you that you are not special. In trying to be special, you are becoming stupid because you are separating yourself from reality. If people around you are reinforcing this, it is not out of love, it is out of fear and need. What you call love is an attempt by two people to become one, but if you think you are special, how will you ever become one? Love is out of question as long as there is fear of losing yourself. Only one who is beyond the fear of losing oneself can know love, can be love. A Buddha can be loving, a Jesus can be loving, but those who have a fear of losing themselves can never be loving. If two people with fear meet, they try to give each other a little bit of strength to go on with life. These are survival skills that cannot liberate you. They can only bind you. As long as there is fear of losing yourself, there is no possibility. Thank you.